months deep into 2021 and I'm wondering how your clutter game is going for you. I made this video early on in the year. I believe I actually posted it January 1st, all about how to stay clutter-free in 2021. So this video right now is kind of a follow-up to that video, and I have 10 additional tips that can help you keep your home clean, organized, and tidy so that you can do the things you actually want to do. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Julie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I post videos all about minimalism, motherhood, intentional living, and I would love to have you as a subscriber if that is something that you're interested in. Don't forget to go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up and click on your notifications. And with that all said, let's talk about staying clutter-free for the rest of your life, but especially for 2021. Okay, so I want you to remember as my first tip that this is about you controlling your environment, or taking back a little bit more control of your surroundings versus your environment, aka your stuff, controlling you, because that is what happens when consumerism tips too much and now you are a victim of your circumstance. Your things are just crowding in on you. It's contributing to the mental clutter in your head. You can't focus, you can't relax, and you feel like you just want to scream. Number two, start to sort the things that don't really belong to you. So return things that you may have ordered online that you no longer need or that you don't actually want. If you've taken too long and missed that kind of window, chalk this up as a kind of expensive mistake, a little bit of a waste of money, but it's good that it has a little bit of a consequence for you so that you don't do it again. Donate it to someone that could actually use it, and try and make better choices in the future when it comes to returning things. It's super easy to buy things online and just say, yeah, I can just easily return this, but how many of us actually go to the trouble of doing that? I will say that it is becoming easier and easier to return things. You can often just drop off things at a UPS or FedEx or even a Whole Foods store if you're shopping on Amazon without even taking the box or packaging or anything. It's all an app on your phone, so there's really no excuse not to return something that you don't think you need. In the same vein, return things that don't belong to you, that might belong to friends or neighbors. Return those containers that were given to you with food in them or cookies or whatever. Return a bag that is not yours. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but all these little things really add up. So it's important that if you don't really have the right to donate this item because it's not yours, that you make sure that you return it to its rightful owner. So number 4 is about laundry, and there's so much controversy around this, but I stand by the fact that you should do a little bit of laundry every single day, or if you have the flexibility, every other day if you don't have a lot of kids or you're not messing up clothes on a regular basis. But we typically do a load of laundry, if not 2, every day, every other day, and when we don't do it every day, I really notice the difference. I just find it so much less overwhelming to do a little bit every day rather than spending 5 hours of my Saturday doing laundry, which I have experimented with. I've waited and just, done all of our laundry on one day, and it's a lot. I feel like I'm a slave to my washing machine. I'm constantly trying to change things out, trying to make things dry. I promise you, do a little of laundry every day and that's how you'll get it under control. Old receipts and paper clutter. I made this video all about memory books to help you contain that kind of sentimental clutter that you don't really know what to do with, you don't want to throw out, but essentially it's just cluttering up your drawers and your countertops because you don't know what to do with it. So make sure you check that out if you need an idea of a way to preserve memories, especially like for your kids or maybe your childhood, so that you can just really keep the things that represent that period of time. The same goes with paper clutter. Make sure that you are on a regular basis going through things. At minimum, you should be going through your paper clutter once a week. But even better than that is you should be going through it as it comes into your home. So receipts, perhaps you need to scan them for something. Do it as soon as you get one, but then discard it or take a picture so that you have it on your phone if you need it, because most of the time you won't need a receipt, but occasionally you do. So you want to have some kind of copy of it, but you don't need to keep all the paper clutter. Junk mail, magazines, things that you're not using, gift wrap. Check out what you can recycle and do it. If you're needing some kind of external accountability, perhaps you're someone who's motivated by other people, that's kind of how you find it versus being internally motivated, look at events in your community that might help with donating items. So for us, we have something that's like called a community swap that we do every quarter, and I know that I can kind of save up whatever I need to donate and work towards that and then go and donate that every 3 months. And that's a really great amount of time to just collect a few things that I can donate to my community that other people might find more helpful. And I think it's a great goal if you are feeling overwhelmed with clutter and it's one of those things where you have all these bags that you want to donate but you just never get around to it. If you have a specific date and a specific organization that's counting on you essentially, then it's so much easier to just get cracking and go and donate. Aim for a clutter-free kitchen counter. It is the best when you come downstairs from the night before or you walk into your kitchen on a Saturday morning and everything is clean and clear, the dishes have been put away, everything's off the counter, the cords have been wrapped up. It is so amazing to start a day like that, so aim for it. Maybe you won't have a clean kitchen counter every day, but if you aim for it, eventually it's gonna happen and it's gonna feel amazing. Totally worth it. Something else that I found in my apartment, and let me know if anyone else experiences this, but I think because it's apartment living and it's small, things get dusty so quickly. If I'm not wiping things down every 2 to 3 days, and honestly I don't always get to do that, I notice this layer of dust and it's just inevitable. No matter how clean I feel like our place is, it's always dusty. And let me tell you, it is much easier to keep things clean and wipe counters down when you don't have millions of little things on a counter, obviously. So use that as motivation. Tell yourself you need to wipe down the counters every 3 to 4 days to keep things clean, keep things dust free, and that's gonna help you keep surfaces clear as well, because it's such a hack to be taking things off all the time that you will just be grateful and happy that you have a clear counter space. Something that I notice in our house is that we don't always use up things like condiments in the fridge or sauces, or the same goes for like beauty products and creams. Perhaps I buy something and I try it and I'm like not a huge fan and then I have like this much left. Either make a decision to discard it, give it to somebody else, or just use it up, and then you can free up that space in your medicine cabinet or your bathroom cabinet or your fridge. Plus, you don't want to have things like sitting there that are essentially perishable for months and months and months, definitely been there, and then you look and they've expired. It's a total waste. You could have used them up months earlier. Something else that's very important when it comes to clutter, and we kind of neglect this side, is changing that internal dialogue. And I speak a lot about this in my courses and programs, but really, if you tell yourself that you're disorganized, that your home is full of clutter, that you kind of just feel like a hot mess, that is just your reality, because your brain kind of works to think, okay, well, this is what you're telling me, this is obviously true, and it almost works to keep you in that perpetual cycle. So from today, from this moment, you're going to identify as someone who is organized and clutter-free. Even if your external environment doesn't reflect this right now, it's going to over time. And it's amazing how when you change what's going on in your head, your external world starts to reflect it. So this is something that's free and easy to do. You just have to start talking to yourself. Another tip is to get help. And if you're anything like me, getting external help is not something that comes easily to me. I don't really want other people in my home. But what I mean by getting help is encouraging everybody in your household. Anyone who lives in your home is going to benefit from a clutter-free environment, and anyone old enough to tidy up as young as 2 years old, even younger, should be participating in some age-appropriate way to keep your home looking tidy and clutter-free. Don't take it on that this is all on you as the mom of the home, because then again, it just sets the standard that you are going to take care of all of this. This is your portfolio to maintain everything, whereas it's actually everybody's responsibility to put their own shoes away, to hang up their jacket, to unpack the dishwasher. It doesn't only fall on you, and the only way it's going to continue to fall on you is if you allow it to. So make sure you give yourself permission to ask for help in a respectful manner. Tell your spouse, tell your kids what you need in order for this home to be accessible and a benefit to everybody living in there, and see how that goes. Something that I do constantly is I evaluate my home all the time. We are considering / getting ready to move, and I don't want to take things that I'm just going to end up donating on the other side. I don't want to move all of that stuff. So I'm constantly thinking, like, do I really like this mug? Is this glass chipped? Is this plate broken? Did something happen to this? No longer worth me even moving or keeping in my home. I want to have as few things as possible that I can get by, and with children there's just stuff that comes all the time, so we have a constant inflow of things, but making sure that you are getting rid of broken things or things you really don't like or things that are partially broken. Definitely get rid of all that stuff. And my last tip is to borrow infrequently used items from friends. Especially in New York, I feel like people do a great job of this because we are all kind of restrained by space, so people understand that you might not have like something random like a beach umbrella sitting around that you use once a year, or a little hiking carrier for an infant. You know, something where maybe you go on a hike once when they're 6 months old and never again. It seems silly to purchase one of those kinds of things for a one-off excursion unless you're doing it regularly. So I think asking people if you can borrow, obviously reciprocating, is super helpful. I really think asking people for the odd thing that you might not have, something you need for one once-off cooking project, it's okay. You should ask and they will ask you back, and it's a reciprocal kind of relationship, and I think that is another great way to stay clutter free. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know which tip resonated with you or which tip you have for everybody watching that can benefit to keep your home clutter free. What is the #1 thing that you do to stay organized in 2021? Please go ahead and subscribe, click the notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, check out all my resources, courses, programs, all that good stuff in the description box below, and I will see you in my next video.